Okay, next tutorial. Today's makeup is meant to be my take on Uncle Fester from the Addams family. And Thing. You look so happy up there. It's such a silly makeup, but oh my gosh, I had so much fun doing it. Fester's makeup is one of those deceptively simple makeups where you could, in theory, just do kind of a pale face, dark eyes, bald cap and call it a day. I myself wanted to do something a little bit different, so I took a few different versions of Uncle Fester, mashed them together, and here we are. Yeah, it's a very silly makeup, but I can guarantee you if you wore this to a party, people would be talking about it. It's the hand. I love it. So if you'd like to learn how to do this makeup for yourself, stay tuned. Okie dokie, so the first step for this makeup is going to be to pop on a plain latex bald cap. Now this is quite important for this character because there's not a lot of makeup involved, so it's quite important that the character doesn't have any hair. You could probably slick your hair back if you want, but for maximum effect I'm going to be using a bald cap. I'm also going to be blocking out both of my eyebrows, so I'll pop a couple links on the screen up there, as I always do. Those two links will take you to the two videos that I did in the past that will teach you how to do both those things, just so I don't have to do it in this video to make things go that much quicker. So I'm going to go pop on my bald cap, block out my eyebrows, have a shave, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's step one complete. I look weird. Okie dokie, so when you're done, it'll look something like this. So then we can start colouring in the bald cap. So you could do this with watercolours, you could do this with some creams, although I don't generally advise using creams on latex because it can make it deteriorate. But I myself am going to be using some alcohol activated colours, just because when you layer them up they look a lot more natural and translucent. And the main palette that I'm going to be using for this makeup is the lighter flesh tones palette. I got this one from Nils Materials. I'm only using this particular palette because it's got colours that better match my own skin tone. But of course there are lots and lots of other makeup palettes out there to match yours. So I'm going to start off with this really nice deep red colour applied really sporadically just over the bald cap. I can then go in with the different shades and start layering this up until it starts blending off into my own skin tone. The idea is to work really randomly, but make sure there isn't one block colour in any given area. So just layer it up nicely until it blends off. Okay, so when you're done, it will look something like this. So I've got a few more layers to go, but I wanted to stop for now and start working on the face. So as you can see, I have made the skin tone slightly lighter because Fester he's quite pale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last two colours that I used on my bald cap and start trickling it down onto my face. So the same way that I did the bald cap, I'm just going to apply that really lightly, sporadically around my face. I'm also going to colour correct my eyebrows as well, which will be done using exactly the same method as the bald cap. I'll use the red layer first and then start layering up with the different tones, just until they blend off. I don't need too much of the paler colours on my face, I just need one or two layers. Okie dokie, so when you're done, it'll look something like this. I look like an egg. So this next step is completely optional, but I just want there to be a little bit more detail on the face other than, you know, the sunken eyes. And that is to apply a few veins. So to do that, I'm going to use another alcohol activated palette. This one is the American Horror Story palette by Skin Illustrator. You could just use the red from the previous palette, but I really want to use something that's got a bit more purple in it. So I'm going to use a mixture of this lovely purple colour here and this lovely blue. And I'm going to mix those two colours together and use a really sharp brush and just apply that colour just around the temple area, just squiggling off, kind of like little lightning bolts or little tree trunks. The idea is to have a few darker and a few lighter and just squiggle them off until they taper off into the skin. Okay, so they're very subtle, but I think they help add a little bit to the look. So then we can start working on the eye makeup. So Festa's eyes are pretty famous for being quite sunken in, with these massive bags that kind of taper off, but they're mostly just there. So I'm going to start by defining this line that he has. So to do that, I'm going to use a black eyeshadow. This one's by Sugarpill in Bulletproof. And I'm just going to lightly map out the rough shape going around the eye. Okay, so don't worry about it being too neat for now, it's just there as a guideline. So then I'm going to use another eyeshadow. This time I'm going to be using a purple eyeshadow. This is from Sugarpill. It's part of their Pro palette, but you can get it on its own. This one is called Poison Plum. And I'm going to use that eyeshadow just on the inside of these lines that I've drawn. You could just go down the whole dark eye route and apply black on the inside, but I'm going down the more Christopher Lloyd route with the whole purpley red kind of eye. I just think it's more fun. Okay, so it's kind of got a Beetlejuice vibe about it. So then I'm going to take the same black eyeshadow from before and then go over where we went before, except this time we're going to blend it in towards the middle. We're only talking about blending it maybe 1/2 centimetre. We don't want to meet completely at the eyes. Then whilst we're still working with that black eyeshadow, I'm just going to do a tiny little brow furrow just about here. And I'm going to do that by taking a small amount of the black eyeshadow and then sweep it from the corner of the eye and then sweep it up and then around. Then again with the black eyeshadow, I'm just going to go underneath both my eyes and blend it out super slightly. We don't want it to meet the other black line. I'm going to do exactly the same on the top set of my eyelid. I'm going to blend that one up, but not so much that it meets the top. I can then, again, working with the same black eyeshadow, go down the sides of my nose and then follow the shape around my nasal labial folds and just create a nice shadow. So it's not going to be too dark, we're basically just going to draw a line down here, around and then around the folds and then blend that colour away. I'm also just adding a few more lines around the face, so I'm going to add just this area here, little tiny chin shadow. And I'm also going to do some brow furrows as well and some crow's feet. I'm going to do that in exactly the same way with the black eyeshadow and just do a few sweeps at the corners of the eye, taper them out, and then do the same with the brow furrows. So we just want a few wrinkle lines, so we'll do a few little squigglies and then blend them away. I'm also going to be doing a bit of contouring with the same black eyeshadow and a medium fluffy brush. I'm just going to apply that underneath my cheekbones and then go downwards to make the cheeks a little bit more gaunt. I'm also going to apply it to my temples as well and blend it back. It's not going to be too dark though. So there we go. So hopefully it makes the face look nice and gaunt. So the final step is completely optional, but it's something I really wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do a Festa makeup for the longest time, but I only wanted to do it if I had this one extra element, and that extra element is thing. So you're gonna have to forgive me for this, it's quite crude, but I purchased this hand off of eBay. It did need quite a bit of painting. I didn't have a huge amount of time, so hopefully this is okay. It did come quite crude, but I made it a little bit more red and realistic with some alcohol paints. You could make your own latex hand, to be honest. It wouldn't be that tricky. You could just coat your hand in latex and peel it off and then stuff it with cotton wool and paint it like I did. Or you could go one step further and dip your hand in alginate and then you've got yourself a cast for latex there. But my plan with this is to use it in a couple of different places, mainly on top of my head. I just think it'll be really cute just kind of sitting there. Yeah. And I'm going to stick that down with a tiny bit of spirit gum just in the middle, and then I can always take it off and move it around if I wanted to. It's just kind of a little talking point, like a nice little party trick. I think it'll be fun. But as I said, that's completely optional. You could just pop your costume on now and call it a day if you wanted to. But you know me, I always go a little bit extra and weird. Why not? So then, all that's left for me to do is to pop on my costume, pop in my contact lenses, stick my hand down, and we'll see what everything looks like. And there we go. That's my look. Officially complete. So I finished off the look by popping down Thing. I popped on a black robe that I got from eBay and finished everything off by popping in 2 black contact lenses. They're actually mini sclera contact lenses that I got from Camawise. I will pop that link in the description bar below for you. They're just slightly bigger contact lenses than my regular smaller lenses. I just think they help put everything together nicely. Yay. And of course we can't forget the fake light bulb, which I can't stress enough is completely fake. It's a plastic prop that I got off of Amazon that lights itself when you click it. There. And yeah, so that's my take on Uncle Fester. I really hope you all enjoyed this makeup. I had so much fun doing it. I always have fun doing my makeups, but every now and again there's one in particular that's extra silly and it just makes my night. And this is definitely a silly makeup. Look at Thing! I love it. I just really want him to move his fingers. Actually, no. That would be horrifying. No. It's definitely one of those makeups where if you wear it to a party, people definitely will be talking about it. It's kind of a few different versions mixed together. I mean, the eyes were definitely inspired by Christopher Lloyd's version, but I also took inspiration from other versions of the same character, and here we are. I do really hope you enjoyed this makeup. If you did like it, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye fluffies!